video, we will try to understand the concept of equi-marginal utility. Now in this case, when we are trying to find out the solution or the commodity bundle that gives the consumer maximum amount of satisfaction, when we do have more than one commodity, how the consumer finds out the solution? When the ratio of the marginal utility of x and the price of the commodity, that is px, is equal to the ratio of marginal utility of the other commodity. Here the other commodity is commodity y, and the price of the other commodity. Here the other commodity is y, so it is py. So if we consider two commodities, commodity x and commodity y, and we try to find out that at what point consumer will get the maximum amount of satisfaction, then we will consider the concept of equi-marginal utility, and this is the solution of the consumer or consumption bundle. So the concept of equi-marginal utility now we will apply here in this sum, and we will try to find out the solution. So basically we are trying to understand what will be the amount of x that the consumer will consume and what will be the amount of y that the consumer will consume. So we will just highlight these two cells. Now in this case, what are the informations we do have? We do have for different units what are the amount of marginal utility for both the commodities, commodity x and commodity y. Now here in this case, remember, it can happen that the units of measurement of x is different than the units of measurement of y. Say for example, if we take x as the ice cream scoop and y as the packet of snacks, then definitely for the case of x, 1 unit means 1 scoop of ice cream, but it is not a packet of ice cream. On contrary, for the commodity y, it will be the packet, 1 packet of snacks if I am considering the first unit or 1 unit. Clear? So sometimes people get confused that whether these units and how these calculations are done. So that's why I clarify it, that units of measurement for different commodities can be different. So here I will do a trick, that instead of considering the units of both the commodities at the same place, we will just divide it into two separate columns. So here this will be the units of x and here this will be the units of y, so that those who are watching my video first time should not get confused. Now I hope we will be able to start the analysis. Now here if you look at the formula, you can see it is not the marginal utility but marginal utility by px that we need to calculate, but we do have the information only the marginal utility of x. So what we need to calculate to find out the optimum bundle? We first need to add two columns. So here we are inserting one column for the mu of x divided by px. Here we have taken the ratio of the marginal utility and the price of x. Clear? So if we try to calculate it, definitely for 0th unit we cannot calculate. So I am just highlighting this cells, and we will start calculation of this marginal utility by px from the first unit of x. So if we calculate it, the information of the price of x and price of y already we do have. So in this case, price of x is rupees 2. So we will divide the marginal utility of first unit by the price of x, which is rupees 2. So this is the formula, and enter. So it is 10. So marginal utility of x is 20 utils and price of x is 2 rupees. So if I divide 20 by 2, we get 10. So this is the 10 value we got. Now likewise, if I drag this cell, see, look at the formula. If I drag this cell, definitely what will happen, that the denominator value also has changed, right? But the denominator for all the calculations should be the price of x. That's why from the first cell itself we need to adjust the denominator, and since the value of the denominator is always same, we will fix this cell by using the dollar value. So here we will put the dollar sign before the column heading, and also we will put the dollar sign before the row heading, and enter. So here if you look at, then and drag the value, definitely you will get the exact amount. So here, for example, for fifth unit, the marginal utility is 2 and the price is also 2, so we are getting 1. Now remember, here for the sixth unit you can ask me this question, that why it is 2. If I divide 3 by 2, it doesn't come 2, right? It should be 1.5. Why it is coming 2? Because we have not considered the decimal places. Now if I increase the decimal places, it will come as 1.5 minus 1.5. So now the same way we will calculate we will calculate the value of marginal utility of y divided by the price of y. So here the calculations will remain same. So what we will do, we'll find out the marginal utility of y, and then divide it by the price of y, which is 1. Again, just we have adjusted. In the case of commodity x, we will fix this cell, the value of the denominator again. So with the help of the dollar sign here, we will put $1 sign before the column heading, and also we will put another dollar sign before the row heading, and enter. So we receive the marginal utility of y divided by the price of y. Now in this case, if I drag down, then definitely we will get the values for all corresponding units of y. So here we can get the marginal utility divided by the price of y. Now in this case, you can see we are getting the this rupee sign, but these values are not in rupees, so we just need to delete it. We can consider numbers only, and if we click OK, see, the rupee sign has gone. Now what is our objective? Our objective here to find out what the quantity of x and quantity of y, and also we do have another constant, that is the income. So income here is 10. That means if the consumer wants to buy any unit and it doesn't satisfy the income, or is greater than the income, definitely consumer will not be able to buy it. So here we need to create a signal. So here we are creating a signal that how long the consumer will be able to buy. So here what is the signal? We will constitute it with the help of if function. So here, if this income is greater than expenditure, then definitely the true value is that consumer will be able to buy, right? So we will write here continue purchase. So continue. If it is not greater, if the income is not greater than the expenditure, the other two possibilities are either they are equal or the income is less than the expenditure. So we have remaining two more options. So here we will use one more if function, and we will write that if income is equal to the expenditure, then the true value will be stop. So at this point the consumer will stop the purchase. And what is the false value? False value is reduce the purchase. In case the consumer has increased the purchase and it is going beyond the income level, definitely consumer needs to decrease the purchase. So we have opened two brackets, so we will close two brackets and then enter. So in this case, look at this, we are getting the continue sign. Why we are getting the continue sign? This is because the expenditure we have not calculated yet, and the expenditure the Excel is considering as value 0. Clear? So now we will calculate the expenditure. So what will be the expenditure? See, here we are consuming only two commodities, commodity X and commodity Y. So what will be the total consumption? What will be the what will be the value of purchase for commodity X? That is nothing but Px into the quantity. And what is the amount of purchase or the value of purchase of Y? That is price of Y multiplied by the quantity of Y. So this thing actually we will try to apply at the calculation of expenditure. So it is equal to price of Y multiplied by the so it is equal to, now we will calculate the expenditure. So it is equal to, we will separate two commodities by first bracket. So first bracket, price of X multiplied by the quantity of X, and first bracket close, plus again one more first bracket, then price of Y multiplied by the quantity of Y, the first bracket close. Now if I press enter, we will get the value of the expenditure. Clear? Till now we are getting the continuous sign. Why? Because the expenditure, value of the expenditure is now 0. The consumer didn't start purchasing, means we didn't start the sum yet. Anyways, so here now we will calculate the quantity. So quantity will be based on the comparison. Comparison of what? Comparison of these two columns, mu x by px and mu y by py. So now we will compare these two columns and we will try to find out that which unit of a commodity the consumer will purchase. So we will create one more column here. The column name will be decision. Now in this decision column, we will try to calculate that which quantity of a particular commodity the consumer will purchase by comparing these two blue shaded columns. So let us consider the first unit. Let us compare the first unit of both X and Y. We can see that mu y by py is greater than mu x by px. Clear? So definitely in this case, since the per unit gain is higher for the commodity Y, the consumer will buy the first unit of Y. So we can write a formula here that if the value of mu x by px is greater than the value of mu y by py, then consumer will go for x. Correct? So x is a string. We want that the Excel should consider x as a string. So we'll put it under the inverted comma. So it is x. Otherwise, the consumer will go for y. Now in this case, if we put enter, you can see that inevitably it is coming y. Why? Because mu y by py is greater than mu x by px. Now let us highlight the first unit of y because it has already consumed, so we have highlighted it. Now when we compare the next time the commodities, the gain from the commodities, then definitely first unit already has been consumed. So we will start comparing between the first unit of x and the second unit of y. And if you look at the mu x by px of the first unit of x is 10 and mu y of py for the second unit is 15, then definitely 15 is greater than 10. So the consumer will decide to consume second unit of x and not the first unit of x. So consumer will decide to consume second unit of y and not the first unit of x. So if I drag this formula down, you can see inevitably it is coming y. But here we need to do a small adjustment, that it will not be C4 because C4 is signifying the second unit of x, but we have made the comparison between first unit of x and second unit of y, so we need to select this cell. Clear? So it will be C3 and enter. So the decision didn't change, but definitely in this sum it is happening like that. But we can face a situation where we can see that instead of second unit of y, consumer is willing to consume the first unit of x. Since in this sum the second unit has also been picked up, so we are highlighting the second unit as well. Now we will compare between the third unit of y and the first unit of x. Now see here, we are till now getting the continue signal, correct? Now here the quantity we didn't adjust, so we are getting the continuous signal. Will we get the continuous signal even when we adjust the quantity? Let us see. So here in the quantity section we will do the counting, that how many x's the consumer decided to consume till now. So here it will be equal to, we will use the function countif. So it will be countif. After writing countif we need to give the range. So here is the range that we are considering. Clear? After giving the range, what is the criteria? Here in this calculation we are doing the quantity of x, so here the criteria will be x. If it is x, then only we will calculate, we will count. So x. Now till now in this range there is no x. Consumer till now didn't start consuming x, so the quantity of x after counting we get that the quantity of x is 0. Similarly, we will count it for the quantity of y. So we will write the same function countif range will be same range. And what is the value here, what is the criteria here? That is y. We will write the y in the inverted comma because we want that Excel should consider this y as 3. Now enter. So when we are writing it, see here in the decision column we do have 2y, and also in the quantity of y we get 2. So 2 units consumer has consumed, and accordingly the expenditure got adjusted. Expenditure is 2 because quantity is 2 and the price of y is 1. So 2 multiplied by 1 is equal to 2. Now we are getting the continuous signal. So we will move to the decision column again, and we will continue the purchase. So here in this case, just we are trying to find out which quantity we need to buy. In this case, we are basically again we will compare the first unit of x and with the third unit of y. Clear? So third unit of y is having the marginal utility of y by py is equal to 10, and also we do have the first unit of x, that is first unit of x, mu x by px is also 10. Now let us see what unit consumer will consume. Let us put the enter. We can see consumer is again going for y. Now in this case, definitely, since in both the cases consumer will be indifferent, consumer can take any of these two commodities. Clear? He will be indifferent. He can take any of these two quantity, either the first unit of x or the third unit of y. So in this example, basically we have gone for the third unit of y. So let us highlight it. So we have highlighted. Now you can check here that quantity of y became 3. Correct? Now we are also getting the continuous signal. So we will move further. And now in this case we will compare with the first unit of x, because consumer didn't start consuming x yet. So here the first unit of x, and we will compare it with the fourth unit of y, and let us see. Yes, we can get the choice that consumer has chosen commodity x over y. Why? Because when we compare the fourth unit of y and the first unit of x, you can see that mu x by px is 10, where mu y by py is 5, which is less than the first unit mu x by px for the first unit. Clear? So we will highlight the first unit of x now. So first unit of x has been consumed. Now till now we are getting continuous signal because our income is greater than the expenditure. So we will move and continue the purchase. Now our comparison will be between fourth unit of y and the second unit of x. So second unit of x, the value is 8, it's come correctly, but here for fourth unit we need to consider not f7 but f6, because we are considering fourth unit of y. So if I put enter, we can see again consumer has chosen x, because this is 5. For y the value is 5, and for x the value is 8. So definitely 8 is greater. For the second unit of x, mu x by px is 8, which is greater than the mu y by py for the fourth unit of y, which is 5. Right? So consumer has chosen x. Now again, till now we are getting continuous signal, so we will continue the purchase. Now in this case, basically we need a little adjustment. That second unit of x we need to highlight, and we will make the comparison now between the third unit of x and the fourth unit of y. Remember, for the third unit and for of x and fourth unit of y, for both the cases it is 5 only. Let us see what happens if we continue the purchase. Let us adjust it. So here we need to adjust the cell for y. So it is the F6. Let us see what the consumer selected. The consumer selected the commodity y. So now consumer is consuming 4 units of y and x units of x. So should we continue the purchase? Yes, the signal is saying we should continue the purchase. So here in this case, what we will do now, we will need to highlight this purchase of y. So now if we continue the purchase, the consumer will now compare the third unit of x with the fifth unit of y. That means with this value and this value. So definitely it is clear that consumer will go for x. Let us see what happens in the calculation section. We need to adjust the cell, so it should be coming for this, correct, and for y it is okay. So yes, consumer has chosen x. So in this case we can see that consumer has chosen x. But when we were in the previous cell, then also the expenditure was 8. Now the consumer added one more unit of x, but till now the expenditure didn't change. Why? Let us click at here. See, here in the count if, the range, we didn't include the last cell. So we need to include the last cell. And let us check what is the value. 3 units of y. And when we include the last cell, let us see what is the value. That is 4. So basically, now when we included the last cell, we can see that we are getting the signal stop, and the income is exactly equal to the expenditure. So here we will stop the calculation, and we reach to the conclusion that the consumer will buy 3 units of x and 4 units of y. So what is the optimum bundle, or what is the bundle of choice at here? That is 3, 4. Now the thing is that is the question is that is it the optimum bundle? Now after the solution, we reach to the conclusion that consumer will buy the commodity bundle which has 3 units of X and 4 units of Y. Now the question is that 3, 4 bundle is the optimum bundle? That means consumer, we have assumed that consumer is a rational being. So is that bundle actually gives the maximum amount of utility? This we need to calculate. So for this we can take the help of that now to analyze this we can go for the scenario analysis. Now with the scenario analysis we will try to find out that for what are the consumption bundles for which the expenditure is exactly 10. Clear? If we can identify those bundles for which the expenditure is exactly 10 and calculate the total utilities of all these bundles, then we can find out that which bundle, given the constraint of income, the consumer can get the maximum amount of utility. So to do this scenario analysis, let us create the rows and the columns. So here in the rows we will put the prices. So here in the row we will put the quantity of Y, and in the column we will put the quantities of X. So here it is the quantity of Y, and on the other side we are measuring the quantity of X. Of commodity X. So here what is the optimum bundle? 3 and 4. So we are writing here the bundle 4, and for X it is optimum is 3. So we are writing 3 at here. Now we will relate this particular value with other values of the column headings. So here we will take just the previous quantity of Y, which is 4 minus 1. So it is 3. Now if I drag it up to 1, we can get the value from 1 to 4. Now basically we need to create the values from 1 to 6. So after 4 also we need to adjust. We need to adjust it and relate it with the value 4. So here 4 plus 1. Now I will drag it one more column, up to one more column, and we are getting the value 6. So here these are the different quantities of Y. So these are different quantities of Y. Now likewise we will also create the values for X. So if I relate the previous quantity of X with the value 3, then 3 minus 1 will be 2, and we have the value of X, the range from 1 to 6. So we've gone up to 1, and after 3 we need to create 2 more cells and need to relate it with 3. So 3 plus 1, and we have to move up to 6. So these are the values for X. So these are the quantities of X. Now we just write it, quantities of X. Now in this case, when the column headings are meeting with the row headings of this matrix at there, and this cell will be basically that calculation. What is the calculation we need? What is the calculation we are the values we basically want in this matrix? So here we basically want to calculate the expenditure. So expenditure, we try to find out a different scenario, what is the amount of expenditure, right? For example, if the consumer is spending on one quantity of y and one quantity of x, what will be the amount of expenditure? Look clear? So to do this, we need to select the cells, and we need to go for data. From data we will go to what if analysis, and from what if analysis we will select the data table. Select the data table at here. Sorry, we will select the data table at here. Now when we selected the data table, they ask that what is the row input cells. So here the row input cells will be the value of y, and what is the value, what is the column input cells? Column input cells here is the x. Now if we click on OK, now you can see that we got a matrix where we can see that what is the amount of expenditure for different scenarios, for different combinations of commodities, sorry, for different combination of quantities of x and y. So in this case, what we were trying to understand, that what are the commodity bundles for which we can exactly get the expenditure is equal to the income. That means 10. So the value of the expenditure, all these are the expenditures. So now we will try to find out the cells which has the value equal to 10. So what we will do, we will go to home, from home conditional formatting, highlight the cells rules, and there we will go to the equal to. So after putting equal to in the cell, the value is 10, we are searching 10. So if we click on OK, we can see that for 3 cells we got the value which is equal to 10. Now if this is case, say for example this is also present here, the combination of quantities of x and y that we identified, the 3 and 4. See, look at this cell here, the quantity of y is 4 and the quantity of x is 3. So this is what we identified from these from the comparison of mu x by px and mu y by py. Now we will compare all these 3 scenarios and we will check that whether for this cell, means for this scenario, the total utility is maximum or not. If it is maximum, then we can identify this bundle as the optimum bundle for the consumer. Clear? Now here in this case I need to mention one thing, that why we have chosen this 10, because in this expenditure matrix we can see that some of the values are below 10. That means the consumer will continue the purchase because their income is greater than the expenditure. On contrary, there are some values which are greater than x. For this also consumer will reduce the purchase because in these cases expenditure is greater than income. So only where the expenditure is exactly equal to the income, then only consumer will stop the purchase. So we have considered 3 cells here. So first cell is telling you what? That total utility for the first option, First option means we are checking it here. So first option, x is 4 and y is 2. For the second option, we can see that x is 3 and y is 4. For the third option, we can see that the bundle contains 2 units of x and 6 units of y. Now we need to calculate the total utilities for all these 3 bundles. So let us calculate for the first bundle. So here what is the value? The value here is 2 sums basically. So first we will take the sum of the marginal utilities for the x. So here it will be the sum of the marginal utilities of x up to the 4th unit, bracket close, plus the sum of marginal utilities of y up to the 2nd unit, bracket close, enter. Now we will calculate the same for the second combination. Here the marginal utility, we will sum the marginal utilities of x for the first 3 units, bracket close, plus the sum of marginal utilities for the first 4 units, bracket close. Now this is the amount of total utility. Now we will calculate the same, the total utility for the third bundle, where we do have 2 units of x and 6 units of y. So again sum equal to sum first 2 units marginal utilities of x plus the sum of marginal utilities of y for 6th units, means all 6 units. This is the sum plus, and here you can see that among these 3 bundles, only the bundle 3, 4, means 3 units of x and 4 units of y, this bundle is able to give the maximum amount of utility, which is 96. So we can conclude that this chosen bundle is the optimum bundle for the consumer. At this bundle, as we measured previously, that the marginal utility of x and the price of x, this ratio must be equal to the marginal utility of y and the price of y. If you do have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. Thank you.